Cavs Pacers, baby. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
It's going to be a great series. For those of you who are casual, which is nobody because you're not a casual if you watch this show.
Facts.
You know it's going to be a great series. I'm looking forward to it. Overall, I think these are two teams that a lot of people underestimate, that don't understand how good these two teams are. You have a Pacers team who got off to a slower start than anticipated, and therefore people just forgot they existed in the NBA. And they're a very good basketball team. And then you have the Cavs, who have been the best team, or 1A or 1B the whole season, but people don't take seriously because of their past playoff experiences with this same group. But they're better this year, and people just don't want to acknowledge it. So you have two teams that I think are underrated going against each other. Let's start off first, since the Pacers are the underdog. Kwab, finish this sentence. The Pacers win this series if blank.
Pacers win the series if your defense shows up. You're going against I guess you could say the Cavs are a juggernaut the way they've been playing in the East, or even overall throughout the whole season. You're going against a juggernaut. So if their Pacers defense shows up, because not saying it is, but a lot of your offense is predicated on getting stops and running.
Yeah.
So if their defense shows up and you're able to get on the break, Tyrese is able to create on the break. They're able to spread out the ball for threes and easy layups and dunks. It's going to make the difference. So I think that's going to be a big factor in this series if their defense shows up. What's your opinion that if the Pacers win this series if?
I think the Pacers win this series if their offense is unstoppable. And I know I'm going to break it down to here too, because these are like very general statements, right? Of course, anyone can say that, but I think that the Pacers have a very unique offense where, you know, they have the pick and roll with Tyrese Haliburton. You can put Pascal Siakam on the post. They run the ball very efficiently. Off the bench, TJ McConnell gets into the paint at will. The Cavaliers have very good perimeter defenders. They have defenders all around, and they have good rim protection. But the Pacers offense is a model offense to me. It's an offense that if you were an alien and you were to come down into space, I would point you to the Pacers offense and say, this is how modern basketball is. And I think the Cleveland Cavaliers defense really has their hands full. You know, I think Donovan Mitchell is going to be put in situations where he's going to have to guard the pick and roll. He's going to have to D up on the perimeter. And whether or not they can stop Tyrese Haliburton and the TJ McConnells from getting into the paint and creating chaos and putting them in rotation is going to be huge in this series for me. I also think, you know, Evan Mobley is kind of an X factor. He's not my X factor here, but, you know, if they can kind of shut him down somehow, because Evan Mobley can play inside and outside, and I think he might cause some matchup problems for them. I think making sure that he has a quiet series is another key to the series. Like, if you were to tell me the Pacers were going to win this series, I would tell you that Evan Mobley probably didn't do much. So to me, they win this series if they're able to, and to be even more specific, to get the Cavs into rotation on the defensive end and just confuse the Cavs defensively and basically tap out Kenny Atkinson with answers, right? Not just man defense, but in the zone as well. So that's, to me, that's the whole series to me. It's like,
so we're on different sides of the ball.
What's up?
We're on different sides of the ball when it comes to this. You're on the offensive side. I'm on the defensive side. But yeah, I agree with you. That's going to be a big thing for if the Pacers can win the series.
Who's your X factor
for the Pacers? Pascal, because I think you're going against the defensive player of the year, but also what he can do, what he brings to that team. He allows them to, like you said, you can play him in the post. You can play him in the mid range. He can shoot threes. He gives them different options. So as well as he goes, like, you can obviously the engine is Tyrese and what he does, but watching the Pacers the last series and how well what Pascal was able to do, he's going to have to do that and more against this front line. I also think Miles Turner is going to have to be a big factor too, because I think the Cavs front line is arguably the best front line in the NBA. But Pascal is going to have to be like all-star Pascal throughout the series for the Pacers to have a chance
against Evan Mobley. I mean, because I would assume you're going to put Evan Mobley on Pascal, right? And then you have Jared Allen on Miles Turner. And, you know, it's interesting because we talk about the double big, which is just a traditional lineup, right?
Yeah.
It's so rare that a team has a power forward and a center.
and not a shooting guard playing playing the power forward position. Yeah.
Right, but it's like, you could bring Miles Turner out to the 3-point line, right, with, let's just say, Jared Allen, but you still have, Evan Mobley there.
Yep.
Maybe not protecting the rim because he might have Pascal out as wide as well. So I'm interested to see if the Pacers just kind of spread them out. I also think I expect the Cavs to go zone here and there as well. Whether or not the Pacers are able to figure that out is a big deal as well. My X factor is Aaron Nesmith, and that's because I think he's just as important on both sides of the basketball here. I think when they get put into rotation, like if Tyrese Haliburton's breaking down the defense and things of that nature, I think him and Nembhard both are probably going to be the two players that are going to have to hit shots all series. Yeah. I think the Cavs are going to implement a defense where they're not going to let Pascal beat them. Like if Pascal's going to work, they're probably going to zone up. If they're in man-to-man defense, they're probably going to choose to leave either Nembhard or Nesmith open for three, and they're just going to have to hit their shots. And on the other side of the basketball, I think he's going to get the assignment of guarding Donovan Mitchell. And Donovan Mitchell, to me, is the best player in this series. But if you can shut him down on that end or at least make him semi-human, I think the Pacers have a shot here. So I think he's going to be huge this round. Kwab, let's move on to the other team. The favorites, the Cavs. The Cavs win this series if blank.
Cavs win the series if, one, they're healthy, and two, they play their brand of basketball without having their slow starts. I think my big thing with the Cavs all season has been when they're comfortable playing from behind. They're comfortable starting slow because they have belief in their players and your bench and all that. And so there's been multiple games that they have won where they'll start off down 15. Even when they play the Heat, even though they destroyed the Heat throughout the first round. Yeah. There was a game where it was close, and it was I'm this shouldn't be the case. You're clearly the better team. So I think if the Cavs come out with the right mindset in terms of we're number one in the East for a reason, we're going to play our brand of basketball where everybody gets involved, and also if everybody's healthy, because I know Darius Garland is dealing with a toe issue, but if they're able to get on track the start of games, I feel like they should win this series easily.
Yeah, I'm going to say the Cavs win this series if they're able to create open looks from three. This Cavs team shoots a lot of threes. They're really good at shooting threes. And, they're good at hitting contested threes. Like Matt Strus is really good at hitting contested threes. DeAndre Hunter is really good at hitting contested threes. Donovan Mitchell is really good at hitting contested threes. Evan Mobley's been hitting threes this year.
Yep.
And a lot of that, again, has to do with whether or not you're getting into the paint. If you're breaking the shell of the defense of the Indiana Pacers, getting into the paint, driving, kicking. To me, I think perimeter defense is going to be such a key in this series, right? Is Donovan Mitchell going to be able to break down Nesmith to get into the paint and do whatever he wants? Evan Mobley is another key to this as well. I just said on the other end, if Evan Mobley has a bad series, I can see the Pacers winning this. But if Evan Mobley's doing Evan Mobley things with the basketball, creating up top, running the big man game with Jared Allen, hitting the three, causing havoc, I don't think the Pacers have the defensive personnel on that side of the basketball to stop Evan Mobley on the perimeter on the inside, all while containing Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland doing their thing too as well. The Pacers are a very good defensive team, but they're a very good defensive team when they're guarding guards. When they have to guard two bigs, and you could drag one out, you could drag Miles Turner out or Pascal Siakam out, it's a little different. And I think that's the way that the Cavs are going to attack the Pacers here. I think that the Cavs have more answers on offense to solve the Pacers' defense than the Pacers have on offense to solve the Cavs' defense. The Cavs' defense as well, against Miami, they gave them nothing. And I know it's Miami. Don't get me wrong. It's not like the Heat are this juggernaut of a team. It's Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo without Jimmy Butler. We're just being honest. But defensively, they were just phenomenal. And I think a lot of people forget how good of a Cavs team this really is. So, to me, that's really what it comes down to. I think Evan Mobley is going to be – he's my X factor. I was going to say Ty Jerome, but it's Evan Mobley for me. The more that I think about it, the more that I talk about it. I think if Evan Mobley has a huge series, I think this could be a very short series. But if the Cavs are able to contain him – if the Pacers are able to contain him, make him uncomfortable, if Pascal's able to go to work, maybe get into foul trouble, I think the Pacers can win this series. Kwab, who's your X factor for the Cavs?
Who do you think my X factor is?
Ty Jerome!
Ty Jerome propaganda, baby. I've been saying this all year. Look, I should have been like the Pacers win this series if they can stop Ty Jerome, which is impossible. Nobody can stop. Uh, no, I'm excited to see the Ty Jerome TJ McConnell matchup. Two like backup guards who like
That's not a
really.
joke. That's actually a
It's
real
not a joke.
sentence, which
It's
is dope. Yeah.
yeah, it's a dope matchup. Two very impactful guards off the bench that like impact winning at a high level for your teams. That's your. I could have picked T.J. McConnell too as an X factor for the Pacers,
Yeah.
but just one thing that I've loved about the Cavs, even throughout the first round and even throughout the regular season, they can beat you in so many different ways. Especially
Yeah.
since after adding DeAndre Hunter, you don't know who's gonna go off. Like you know who your I guess your big four are in terms of Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, Darius, and Donovan Mitchell. But I've watched games where Max Strus gets off. I've watched games where Sam Merrill. Uh, I know Cavs fans in the comments they've told us they're like watch out for Dean Wade when he gets like there's been
They have so much shooting. It's insane. It's
it's
insane.
like the shooting is insane
Yeah.
and then adding DeAndre Hunter and then you have the type of season Ty Jerome is having. I feel like if he's going to be an X factor to me because regardless of when I always talk about the Cavs always have these slow starts when they go to the bench and they insert player A or player B, even if it's like Isaac Okoro for defense, it feels like a quick change and then the Cavalanche happens where they bombard you with threes.
Yeah.
And to your point when you were talking about if they're able to create open threes and open shots with their drives, with the amount of shooting they have, it ends up being like it's just ridiculous how games end up turning for them even when you're down. So my X factor, because I've been very consistent about this, is Ty Jerome. It's gonna be Ty Jerome
Ty Jerome
propaganda. He's having
propaganda
a
all
great
day,
year.
baby.
I've
And
been and
also,
give him an award. He didn't get an award. He didn't get sixth man. He didn't get most.
you
I'm
know what
done.
award he's
But
gonna get? We're gonna do at the end of the season. He's gonna get first team dime. I fuck all
very
all
very
dime.
well
I fucks with
deserved.
you.
Very very well deserved.
Yeah.
Very well deserved award.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
And also like just one more thing too to add before we make our picks. I like the Cavs switchability on defense.
Yes.
I mean, when they have like a Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, Isaac Okoro, you know what I mean? DeAndre, like there's so many lineups that they can have where they can just switch everything, and be comfortable switching,
And be comfortable. Yes.
and be
Yeah.
very comfortable switching. And I don't know if I could say that about the Pacers. I think you can, switch on to Miles Turner and get Donovan Mitchell on there, maybe create some mismatches there for Mobley with the Pascal Siakam, like just different ways that they can probably get mismatches. Like if Nembhard is guarding Darius Garland, let's just say, like, are you really going to switch Nembhard onto Evan Mobley? You know what I mean? Or have like Darius Garland go against Pascal? I just feel like there are way more switchability lineups that the Cavs have on the defensive end than the Pacers do. There's just more answers. I think Kenny Atkinson has more answers that he can go to, but I don't think it's going to be easy.
Yep.
Prediction time. I'm going to take the Cavs in 6.
Same.
A hard 6.
Same.
Like, I think it's going to be – I think every game's going to be close.
Yeah.
I think a lot of these games are going to come down to, like, final possession type games. I think these two teams – I don't think they're evenly matched. I do think the Cavs are the better team here. But I do think there is a world where the Pacers win this series. But I like the Cavs, man. I think the Cavs are probably the best team in the East, or 1A, 1B with the Celtics. They are where they are in the regular season for a reason. I don't think this team is fugazi at all. I think just on both sides of the ball, they're going to be a little too overwhelming for the Pacers, and they just have more answers offensively and more answers defensively. They can go zone. They can switch. They can run the pick and roll. They can drive and kick. They can go ISO. They can play inside with Mobley. They could drag you outside. They play the two-man game. There's just so many different things that they can do. And the Pacers can do things too. I'm not taking anything away from the Pacers. Tyrese Haliburton in the pick and roll is phenomenal. And Tyrese Haliburton's going to have to score the basketball. But I do think there's a world where Kenny Atkinson does find some type of way to at least limit the offense of the Indiana Pacers. So I'm just comfortable with the Cavs. I'm comfortable with Kenny Atkinson. I think they win this in 6. Kwab, your prediction?
Yeah, I've Cavs in 6 also. I feel like watching the Pacers Bucks series, there was a couple of games where it felt like the Pacers shouldn't have won, and they were still able to pull through just because of the way they played defense and the way they were able to get into their offense. and I agree with you. It's going to be I feel like a couple of games are going to be very, very close. There's other series that we talked about where like it's going to be a bunch of blowouts. I don't feel like it's going to be the case with this just because of how well these two teams play offense and also defense. Also, like I think we talked about this. The Pacers' defense is highly underrated.
Yes.
People don't give them enough credit on that side of the ball, and because that was one of the big issues they had previous years. But their defense is highly underrated. I can see in a world where the Pacers might win this series, but at the same time, I just feel like the Cavs are too good. Their roster is too good. Like
too deep. Deepest Cavs team ever. The deepest Cavs team ever.
You've been saying this for a while. Deepest
they are.
Team,
I don't know if they're the best team Cavs ever, but they're the deepest for sure.
Deepest Cavs team ever. And the reason why we say that the deepest Cavs team is that you have so many reliable players that start and off the bench that you can just kind of, I don't want to say plug in, but it feels like sometimes you're like, hey, Darius, you're not playing today, Sam. You're starting, and it works out. Like Max Strus get in, and it works, and it's been working. So, yeah, I mean, we think that the Cavs are the like 1A, 1B with the Celtics in terms of the East. They should win this series. But I think it's going to be a hard-fought series. I don't think it'll go to 7, so I have Cavs in 6.
All right, well, there you have it. If you want to follow the Dime, you can everywhere at the Dime NBA. I'm Josh Rodriguez at Josh_Rodriguez_. He's Kwab at Kwab, a.k.a.s. We're going to be doing Knicks Celtics tomorrow as well. Give you our predictions for that series. Hint, hint. Not going to go well for my Knicks. And then we will do a Western Conference semifinals preview as well. But right now, both have gone 7, so we can't do that for you. So wait for that. Stay tuned for a Nuggets-Clippers Game 7 reaction. We're going to do a reaction to the Warriors and Rockets Game 7 and also Pacers-Cavs Game 1. A lot of playoff basketball. Thanks for sticking with us. Make sure you subscribe, drop a comment, all that good stuff. And we'll see you for another game reaction, episode, prediction, all that good stuff at the Dime. Peace.